Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Madeline Vaughn, and today I was going to do a quick just what I do to organize my thoughts before writing a book. Essentially, we talked about it on a couple other videos, but I do love to read Save the Cat Writes a Novel. If you haven't read it and you are an author, writer, want to get into any of this in your life, I do recommend this particular book. It is great. It's a great refresher and just kind of keeps you on track. I love reading it. I don't read it word for word verbatim every single time, but I hit the highlights and take a lot of notes. One thing I also like to do is read books about plotting, because as a crime fiction author and currently a dark thriller author, I love to throw in different plot twists, and I try not to be predictable. I try not to focus on a specific pattern. There's nothing wrong with that. If that works for you, that's great. I don't want to get to a point rather where my writing becomes predictable. So one of my favorite authors is Karen Slaughter. She will never know this ever, but I consider her my mentor. And what I mean by that is she's the first person, and I know I've said this before, she's the first person author that I've read that actually got me. And as far as, I didn't see it coming. I didn't see the twist that she had planned. I didn't see the direction that the character was going to take. And that is fantastic. That is what you dream of as an author, at least for me. That's what I dream of. I want to, look over here while this is happening over here and like, oh my gosh, that happened. So that is literally what I live for. The twistier the plot, the more fun it is for me to write, and especially more fun to hear about when people have gotten to that point, or the messages I'll get and like, can we please talk about this? Like, how did you come up with this? And it's just, that's so much fun for me. That's what makes this so much fun. So part of that, and this, you're not going to be able to read it because I write kind of like a serial killer, but that's fine. I plot out what I want to do with the book, and I know that probably looks impossible to read, but there are different timelines where I think it's important to hit on certain aspects of the story. You obviously meet the characters, you're starting to build the story from the first few pages, and then you want to make sure that you have an inciting incident within so many pages that keeps the reader wanting to know what happens. And then you have, you divert it a little bit to this way, and then you add another incident, and then you want to build on that, and they are going to merge at some point. That is exactly what developing the plot and outline of a book is for. It is literally just, I don't know how to say it any other way. It's like writing foreplay, I guess. It's super fun for me, and then it's bouncing off ideas off of my alphas and getting their input and feedback. They get just as excited as I do hearing about them, and then like, oh, but what if we try this? Obviously you write it, but what if you do this? So it's super fun just to go over these ideas that I have. So I write them all out. That's what I'm working on right now, Devon's story, because the first book was mainly Lenny's story, but Devon was involved. It was a dual point of view from Lenny and Devon, Lenny being the main character in book 1, which is, again, Dark Reflections, comes out January 13th, available for pre-order on Amazon. And now we're working on Devon. So Devon, what problems is she going to have that she needs to work on that people find relatable, or flaw that she has? I write that out. The plots that I want to focus on, the twists that I want to focus on, I have those written out. Her support group, who is that? Obviously Lenny's part of that. Then I go through and write out Act 1, start of Act 1, and then the next part of Act 1, go to Act 2. Are there patterns that you should be picking up on as a reader? Are there patterns that I need to remember to continue to write from book 1? And yes, there are Easter eggs in book 1 that will lead to book 2. The plan right now is to have these 2 books as prequels, because it is the time that they were growing up through high school, college, and starting their careers. Then the actual series starts directly after Devon's story. But that may change depending on how much I get added to book 2. Right now, that is the plan. Anyways, I could ramble on about this literally all day, but I'm not going to, because I'm sure you have better things to do. If you've made it this far, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this content, please don't forget to subscribe to follow along on my writing journey. Have a great day.